you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life feels lemons, just hold me. Just hold me. Just hold me.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to Thursday night in the Racers Elite Next-Gen Cup Series on Sim Racing Media. Tonight we're going to be at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Last week we were at Kansas Motor Speedway, and as always, this racing series delivered a good show. Last week Alex Teft made it 3 for 3, 3 wins on the season, I believe it is. And the way he won the race was strategy on 2 tires. He took 2 tires only, made up a lot of ground, he short pit the field, he came around, and he managed to win the race. I wasn't certain if he was going to be able to make it through, but he managed to do that. P2 belonged to Crowley, and the largest mover of the field was, Crowley was the largest mover in the field, as well as Kitzman. Kitzman was dominant in the race, very dominant last week, but pit strategy left Kitzman only in third, wondering what could have been. Some things to remember going into this week. Andrew Teft and Evan Clapper got together last week. They were kind of racing each other kind of hard. Ended up leaving Evan Clapper in a bad finish while he was running really well. Another notable, Diego Rodriguez, having a rough start to the beginning of his season, hoping to turn it around here at Indy. Here in just a couple moments, we're going to be gridding, and that's going to give us time to go over the current point standings here for Racers Elite. So if you look right here, Alex Teft, who is 3 for 3 on the win column, he has 95 points, followed closely behind. But Andrew Teft, you have Joshua Neal, Austin John Smith, Kinsley Smith. So you've got everybody kind of separated in the top 6 under 20 points. Tied for 7th, Dennis Kane, AJ Cawthon, John Schlombachler, and then currently in 10th, 25 points, out is Ira Kohlhaas. So that's our current point standings. We'll be able to have an update for that going into next week. As you can see, these drivers have begun the grid here at Indianapolis. And ladies and gentlemen, so now it's time to talk about today's race info. So today here is at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Joining me is going to be my partner Daniel Paulus. Daniel was here last week for Kansas. Daniel, we talked to some of these drivers. What are you looking forward to about here at Indianapolis that, as opposed to last week at Kansas? Much larger racetrack. 2.5 miles, 2 very long straightaways, and really 4 different corners. They're not distinctly different, but you have, the corners aren't linked. You got a little straightaway in between them. So this track is always a lot of fun to be at, and you really have to get a great drive off of turn 2 and 4. But tell me, are you excited, and what do you expect to see in this race?
Yeah, I'm very excited. Last week we were at Kansas, a 1.5-mile track. We saw some great battling, different lines being moved around ever since this new update came into iRacing. And now we're at a bigger track, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We've been here before, and you see a whole lot of different changes here. You see a lot of drivers using that top lane or the bottom lane here at Indy, and the field is more spread apart. And one thing I want to point out is going down the front and back straightaway, you're going to see cars drafting and trying to pass each other going into turns 3 and 4 and turns 1 and 2. So you're going to want to try to get a good corner exit.
All right, thank you for the insight, Daniel. I want to talk about the front row. Alex Teft, no surprise, qualifies number 1 with Brandon Puffenbarger outside row number 1. Row 2 is going to be Brad Hayes and Noah Tansman. Row 3 is made up of Andrew Teft, Diego Rodriguez. We talked about the 24 machine looking to turn around his season. Can he do it today? It's in a different paint scheme, not the Pepsi scheme. 7th and 8th, you got Kinsley Smith and Jason Bottoms. Dennis Kane, Gordon Spain are your top 10. We're going to scroll through the rest of the field as we're getting ready to go racing here at Indianapolis. It's going to be week number 5 for the Racers Elite Cup Series. Had 2 shows earlier this week. very good races. Glad to be a part of them here at Sim Racing Media. Coming down turn
Should be a
4.
very
All right, here in a couple moments, the pace car is going to come down pit road. It makes the sharp left turn. As Tony Trapasso would say, ladies and gentlemen, wipe the visor, pull the seat belts tight. It's about to be showtime here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're on the throttle with Teft and Puffenbarger, and you already see drivers at the back of the field trying to make it 3 wide into turn number 1.
Most of the drivers get through clean. Still double file throughout the field here as you see the port of Dennis Kane battling side by side heading into turn 2.
Keep an eye here on Diego Rodriguez starting up front. And we already got trouble in the back, car spinning. I think that's the number 59, Truth Hoke. Then the number 59, Casey's machine. That's Truth Hoke. Oh, another big hit right there. Is that Joseph Atchison? That is. What happened to Joseph Atchison while this whole thing went down? We're going to try to find out what caused the yellow flag today. Following Joseph Atchison right here on the replay. In the back, you've got the number 30. You see the 21, that's James Smith as well. 30 belonging to Sam Kohlhaas. Oh, he's trying to avoid Truth Hoke. Gets a bump, ends up in the grass, hits the outside wall, and just loses absolute control of that number 88 Ford Mustang.
Very unfortunate earlier on in this race.
Yeah, that was very quick. Not even 1 lap, already some trouble. But, you know, this is a tricky racetrack. It's a very tricky racetrack to drive. But in this situation, he was trying to avoid a situation, and it just didn't work out for either one of them.
You're going to see that at multiple tracks, too. Just not Indianapolis.
No, yeah, for sure. Different tracks, you're going to see that. I'm trying to have to look into next week's schedule, going in to see or look at the full schedule for the series, which that's something that we can do because at some point somebody else has got to have something for Alex Teft, right? He can't be the guy through every series. So let's take a look here. Next week we're going to be going to Atlanta on December 21st, and I'm showing a street course race on Christmas, or no, the 26th of December, excuse me. So the 26th of December, we're showing a street course race. Then that's going to be a tough one. I kind of want to drive that race if I can. And then January 4th will be Pocono. And Pocono, the Tricky Triangle, January 4th is going to be a real fun event.
It really is. And with the street course being added into the schedule, it's going to throw a curveball at all these drivers. You don't know who's going to be really dominant. And I wouldn't say anybody's going to be dominant because I feel like it's going to be brand new for most of these drivers.
It's going to be different for these drivers, but they've got some time to practice. You know, that's the the thing that sim racing has on driving physical machines is they can get on there and they can turn laps. And I can tell you a handful of these guys are probably going to be very, very competitive.
Competitive in these cars, especially in the series. They all race with respect and everything. So that's what we want to see out of these drivers.
And we do see a lot of respect out of these guys. You don't have 24, 25 field league races without there being lots of respect amongst the league here. So the first 4 laps are going to end up being under caution. We got 80 laps total, which is quite the distance considering this is a 2.5 mile racetrack. But we'll be back to green in no time. All right, getting ready to go back to racing as those pace lights are out. We're going to be going back to green on coming to lap 5 of 80 here at Indianapolis. And that pace car turns down pit road, ladies and gentlemen, back underway here at Indianapolis. Alex Teft and Brandon Puffenberger coming down the front stretch into the restart zone, coming to lap 5 here at Indianapolis.
Look at that 43 laps. Teft getting a great restart there, holding that inside line very well. As you see the top 2 now single file.
Now single file back to 4th, where you have Diego Rodriguez challenging on the outside, might be in harm's way with Andrew Teft on the inside of him right there. Nope, he is going to be able to hang on to that position. I thought for sure he was going to give up a couple spots being stuck on the outside, but he's going to manage to prevail. You have Andrew Teft trying to look underneath the number 57, that's Jason Bottoms, not able to get clear of him right away. And what we don't know on this racetrack today is where did the tires wear the least? I haven't quite determined that here, and I figure when you're scrubbing them lower on the track that they're going to be worn out a little bit more, but I can't tell you for certain, and we just don't happen to have a pit reporter for this event. Maybe on a timely caution, we'll pull one of these drivers in and see what they're telling us about track conditions.
That sounds like a good idea, and you're going to have to look for these track conditions, see how fast the tire wear does. Go down here and see where it is happening the most, and that is the question yet to be answered, so we're going to have to keep close eye on that. As you see, most of the field now single file.
And this is to be expected here at Indianapolis. It's a long racetrack, and guys start getting spread out. They're not super spread out yet, as you see drivers looking, Kinsley Smith looking to the inside of Diego Rodriguez right here. Just in front of them, you have Brad Hayes, the number 27, into turn number 1. Kind of fan out, Rodriguez taking the high side, Kinsley Smith down low, but be very careful. Jason Bottoms is looking at making that 3 wide, trying to get to the inside of Kinsley Smith.
Very risky here to go 3 wide. At Indianapolis, I've seen drivers go 3 wide in the turns, and it just doesn't end up the way they want it to be. They actually spin themselves out, and you see a lot of drivers in the turns also clip that apron, which you want to try to avoid here.
Yeah, this racetrack can confuse you. The turns look very wide, and there is a lot of room in the corner, but once you get back onto the throttle, it just seems like every car comes right back together, and it's kind of like a funnel. And that normally ends up leaving one guy without any room. And if you're in a situation where you can't lift or give room, you end up putting yourself and other drivers in harm's way. We're looking towards the back here, watching the number 18 of Nigel Christensen, racing with Sam Kohlhaas and Dwayne McMahon. This is for the 21st position back here. These guys are only 5 seconds off the leader right now, so they're not too far away. A little bit more in front of them, you can see a battle between James Smith, Sam Kohlhaas. Really got a 4 or 5 car battle back here around the 19th position.
See some great battles going on here, but once again, like I mentioned earlier on, this pre-race, you're going to see everybody following the leader, and you're going to see a lot of drivers, if they want to make moves, you're going to see them on the back stretch and the front stretch trying to side draft, trying to get past the other drivers.
Side drafting is a really good method here, especially at this track, because it can help keep your speed up going into the corner. But really the rule of thumb here is getting the best possible exit off of turns number 2 or turns number 4. You want to carry as much speed down the front stretch as possible. And as we're looking back up to the front, Brandon Barger has taken over the lead. Alex Teft has found himself in a bit of a battle here for 4th with Noah Tansman. And Jason Bottoms, Diego Rodriguez right behind him to move Brandon Barger up to the lead. I'm not quite sure how this happened, but I'm going to try to go back here in a couple moments and see. Here we go. This might give us an idea of how the lead change occurred. Side-by-side racing right here into the corner. Teft down low. So we're watching right here from about a lap ago to see how this lead change occurred. And it just looks like he gets kind of stuck on the inside right here, and a handful of these drivers just go right on by.
They do, and one little mistake here in Indianapolis could cost you a lot for multiple positions here. So you want to try not to make as many mistakes as possible here. And you see a lot of these drivers actually racing with dignity, racing clean, seeing how their cars handling, so that's a really good sign.
It is a good sign. Continuing on more towards the middle of the field, right here you have Michael Smith in number 45, another Camaro in the field. More Camaros than any other type of vehicle in this race. He's down 1 position, started 13th in the 45, running consistent lap times around the 51.8s, which is about the average pace that we're seeing around the track currently.
See right there, the 9 car.
And 9 car locked in a battle with Corey Crowell. That's John Schoenbachler. Take a mention here, you got Midwest Motorsports, that's from Corey Crowell, texting before the race begins. So those drivers are number 20 of Corey Crowell, number 26, Jeremy Carter, as well as number 45, which is Michael Smith, and number 82, which is Joshua Neal. These guys all looking for a little bit better position right here. They are 13th on back, looking to make up some time on the rest of the field.
Yeah, if you're running mid-pack or towards the end of the pack, you want to try to see how you can find maybe a different line or try something different to get up to the front, because if you're not going to do that, you're just probably going to stay in the back most of this race. So you want to try to find something that can promote you up towards the front.
And slowly but surely, you know, this was a race of attrition. We've been in it for 15 minutes. We've only 12 laps through the series right now, or into this race. And it just takes some time to really develop the track. There hasn't been many huge movers right now. In fact, we're tied for largest mover. They're up 4 positions. Look at Jason Bottoms, the number 57. He's currently scored in the 4th place. Further back in 12th, he's tied with Zach Lockett, the number 93. Chevrolet, he's up 4 positions in 12th, and John Fowler in 15th is up 4 positions, and that driver is in the 15th position. So currently no major changes as far as movers go. I take that back. AJ Cawthon's now the biggest mover, just getting by Joshua Neal, up 5 positions. He's in that 11 Lincoln Electric Chevrolet. I really do enjoy that paint scheme. That those white numbers, black, I don't want to, you would call them accents, on the orange body. It really pops out to me here at Indianapolis.
As you see some of these drivers making their way in turns 1 and 2. Right now, our leader, Brandon Puffenbarger, in the 5 car, having a really strong night tonight here at Indianapolis. Right behind him in second right now is the 27 of Brad Hayes. Also having a strong night, and rounding out our top 3, Noah Tenzeme in the 56. Haven't talked about him lately John, this is kind of actually shocking to see him in the top 3 tonight.
He had a really good run for Noah Tansman right now in that number 56 Chevrolet. Another one of those really good-looking paint schemes, which we are getting used to seeing whenever we call this Thursday race here on these next-gen machines. A couple other notable drivers that we don't talk too much about. 9th is Gordon Spain, as well as John Fowler is another driver who's currently our highest mover in that 16. He's now up 6 positions, tied with AJ Cawthon. So a couple of guys slowly kind of moving through the field. John Fowler starting 19th. He's up to 13th. We'll keep an eye on him to see just how far he can move his race to the front. Take a good peek here at Diego Rodriguez, sitting even keel, started 6th, running 6th. How great would it be for him to be finishing right in this area by the end of this one?
It would be kind of bittersweet to me, getting a good result, no matter even if you don't win, is still really good, That just proves to other people that you can run with each other, run up in the top 5, top 10. You do have the speed. You just have to figure out how you can take that and potentially put it into a winning streak.
Yeah, he could probably use a win after the start to the season. It's been a rough one for him. Running well, and then something ends up ruining his race. It happened last week at Kansas, and it happened a couple weeks before that you and I were also calling an event. So if he can finish top 5, top 6, it'll be a really great run for Diego Rodriguez. A little further to the back, drivers kind of going back and forth. That's Michael Smith. With around him is Thomas Stanley. In front of him, you have Nigel Christensen. So a handful of drivers back here racing for a position. This is around the 17th and 18th place. John Schlombachler in front of them, Joshua Neal also. So several drivers back here jockeying for position. And these guys are racing as if they were up front.
And you're going to see that throughout most of the pack tonight. They're going to look like they're racing to the front. And that's because they want to get to the front. So you want to try to race as hard as you can, but don't use up all your stuff all at once, because if you do, you're just going to fall back and potentially hurt yourself even more. So you got to try to stay cool, try your best, but you can only do so much.
Yeah, you've got to do the best you can, and we're looking at all this right here. The fall off today hasn't been that much. The fastest lap time turned was by Brad Hayes, about a 51.17, and most of the cars are in the high 51s, running high 51s around the track, so 51.7s, 51.8s, 51.9s, more 8s than 9s or 7s. So the fall off is only about 6/10, let's call it 5 to 6/10 currently on lap 18. So I'm not going to say that there's a ton of tire wear going on through here, but it very well could be the lap times are staying well, but the cars are getting significantly harder to drive. I want to take a moment right here and go on board with Alex Teft as he's trying to make his way back to the front. So right on board with Alex Teft right here in 43 Chevrolet, just behind Jason Bottoms. Trying to look to the inside, really carrying some good speed out of turn number 1. And there's that short straightaway I talked about. Looking to the inside of Bottoms. It looks like he's going to complete the pass as Bottoms sees him go right on by. We'll switch views over to Jason Bottoms as now he's going to be chasing the number 43 down the backstretch. We're going to see if he tries to make a move into turn 3.
You're still riding on board there.
Doesn't seem like he's going to be able to, as you saw Alex Teft drive away just a little bit. Diego Rodriguez now just inside of number 6 of Andrew Teft. I believe Teft making the pass on the outside as Rodriguez was looking to try to follow Alex Teft on by into turn number 3, but just wasn't able to make that move work. Now he's under siege by Gordon Spain, the number 3 car. Rodriguez barely in the wall right there.
See some drivers getting really close to that wall tonight, getting off corner exit, but everybody doing such a great job right now. As you see, we're on lap 20.
A little bit further back, you have a battle between the 15 and the 20. That's Kinsley Smith, Corey Crowell. We saw Kinsley Smith 6 positions better than this at some one point in the race. Now down 4 spots from the start. Looks like Smith is running the worst lap times on track. So very well could have used up all of his tires here on this one, as Corey Crowell from Midwest Motorsports is trying to get around him and move himself into the 11th place position. Coming to lap 22 here of 80 here at Indianapolis.
Laps going by quickly. We have a long green flag run right now. Can we keep it going? We will find out here later on. As you see, we are looking at the 3 car of Gordon Spain, another driver we haven't talked about, also having a very decent night tonight. See right behind him is the 4 of Dennis Kane. See if he can make a move on the 3.
And Dennis Kane, a driver that we're used to talking about, always in the conversation of the races. He's always in the top 10. That hasn't really changed. He's trying to knock on the door for that 7th place position, as you mentioned. Take this moment to talk about the standings once more. They are on screen right now. Alex Teff leading in points, going back to 10th. He's only got 25 points over 10th of Ira Kohlhaas. You can also see you got Andrew Teff, some other notables, Dennis Kane's in there, Corey Crowell, Kinsley Smith, as well as Joshua Neal. So these drivers right here starting to pay attention to the points situation, and we're going to see a lot of changing in this as the next, we'll call it 10 weeks go by.
And those 10 weeks will go by very, very fast, as they normally do here.
The current largest mover, or biggest mover, you've got AJ Cawthon in the number 11 machine. Just getting by, or not just getting by, he got by John Schoenbachler a little bit ago. He's got his eyes set on the John Fowler machine just in front of him, which is by about a bus length. So AJ Cawthon really making up ground. John Fowler, the second biggest mover, tied with Zach Lockett. Those 2 guys are up 7 spots. And James Smith, just a moment ago, crossed into having up 8 positions. So James Smith on AJ Cawthon, John Fowler, and Joshua Neal, Zach Lockett. And we can include Joshua Neal. Several guys that are slowly starting to move forward. Notable drivers falling back since the beginning of the race. Alex Teff is down 3 positions. Kinsley Smith is back to 10th, but down 3 positions. John Schoenbachler's down 2 positions. A little further back, you've got guys dropping 3, 5, 5. Jason Bottoms just went down pit road a few moments ago. He's currently scored 23rd, and he is the last driver that came down pit road. He came down on lap 21. And he's currently in front of all the other drivers a lap down.
See right there the 4 of Dennis Kane heading into turn 1. Currently P7. Got past the 3 of Gordon Spain there a few laps ago.
It come back towards the front. Curious to see when one of these guys are going to come down pit road, since Jason Bottoms has come down pit road. Joseph Atchison trying to recover from earlier mishaps on the first lap of the race. Kind of got caught up on the inside wall when avoiding a wreck from the 59 machine here. The 59 scored 24th, 22nd for Joseph Atchison. Just trying to get some positions back here. Wondered when the pit window's going to be, since Jason Bottoms came down pit road. And here we go, Zach Lockett's down pit road, followed by Kinsley Smith. 3 drivers coming down pit road. Big lockup for Smith right there. Almost hits that inside wall. I don't think it did, but it was very close.
Very close indeed. As you see now, drivers come down pit road here on lap 25. Pit cycles have begun here, so it looks like they can run around 25 to 30 laps here on fuel and tires.
Coming down pit road on lap 26 is Zach Lockett pitting from the 7th place position. Looks like 4 tires and fuel for the number 93 machine, hoping to get a good pit exit to pick up some positions. Kinsley Smith coming in red hot, trying to lock up the brakes. 4 tires and fuel for the number 15 Smith machine, going to be exiting just behind Zach Lockett as they came in. As you see the field starting to catch up to them as Brad Hayes is coming around. Brad Hayes has a challenge from Jason Bottoms, who's trying to get his lap back the hard way, short pitting these other drivers on lap 21. So he's been out for 6 laps, making slightly better pace. It looks like he's going to complete the pass here and get his lap back as he pulls out in front of Brad Hayes.
Now pit cycle ending, we will see who will be our leader.
We've got many drivers still out here on track, a little further back, and here come the leaders. Brad Hayes, Brandon Puffenbarger going to give up the first couple spots. Alex Teft going to reassume the lead. Andrew Teft, Dennis Kane, Diego Rodriguez. Many drivers coming down pit road. Hayes pitting from the lead, as well as you got Andrew Teft, Dennis Kane. I expect all of these drivers 4 tires and fuels. We're going to stay with Brad Hayes. Alright, Hayes pulls into his pit stall. Looks like that's the number 2 pit box for the race. 4 tires and fuel for all drivers. Jason Bottoms following him, pitted earlier. We're going to see how he's going to cycle through. He's definitely going to be in front of these other guys. He's got a 7-second lead over Kinsley Smith. Or excuse me, 7.5-second lead over Kinsley Smith and Zach Lockett. Smith getting around Lockett at some point. Not sure when that happened. The other drivers that came down pit road just now exiting. You can see Jason Bottoms coming around out in front of those drivers. It's going to be a net gain for him. He is currently 2 seconds ahead of Dennis Kane and counting. Dennis Kane getting off pit road the fastest of those drivers in front of him, aside from Brandon Puffenbarger and Brad Hayes. Hayes and Puffenbarger got out just in front of Jason Bottoms, so correction for me there. Puffenbarger will be your race leader when things cycle through, followed by Brad Hayes. 2 seconds behind them is Jason Bottoms. Other notable driver, Alex Teft, AJ Cawthon. Teft getting ready to come off pit road. I take that back. He's got a long pit stop. Very well could have been speeding for Alex Teft. That's going to be very costly as the rest of the field comes in.
You see right there. See the cars heading down the back straightaway.
Yeah, so there's Noah Tansman that we're speaking of, Gordon Spain, Corey Crowd, Midwest Motorsports, John Schoenblacher, John Fowler. Rest of the field coming through. Only 5 drivers still out on track. Brandon Puffenbarger's in the lead, pulling away with Brad Hayes, starting to put some time on Jason Bottoms, who I think is going to give up some positions here to these guys on fresher tires. See the rest of the field coming out pit road, quite the gaggle. Who's going to get up to speed here the best on this off-ramp? And this off-ramp right here can be rather slippery as caution number 2 comes out. Oh man, what a moment for caution 2 to come out here. Couple drivers up front. I don't know if it's going to trap some drivers a lap down yet. We'll have to see how it cycles through. We're going to have to figure out also what caused caution number 2.
Take a look at this replay here.
Not sure. Well, caution number 2 out for the evening. Perhaps it might have been a stage break that wasn't passed to us on lap 30. Sometimes there are miscommunications, but I can't see an incident that caused this. Other drivers coming down pit road. I'm gonna try to get some information and see what happened. So looking for some info right here. Currently not seeing anything. Do want to mention though that fuel is 75%. You get 1 fast repair, 4 tire sets after your first set, and you have up to 3 green, white, checkered options. Another thing to notice to note that you get a drop week, meaning if you have 1 bad race, you can let that one go, and those points won't count against you, or you'll get better points than you might have gotten on the race. So we're approaching halfway, and you know that caution there kind of shaking some things up, occurring during pit stops. Dennis Kane is currently scored out front. We're going to see if timing and scoring changes that here. I don't believe that's, you know, that very well could be correct with how those drivers came out of pit road, but I don't think so. I think we still have some cycling to occur here.
We are under caution here. Second caution of the night from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Racing has been pretty decent tonight. Nothing major. Everybody minding their P's and Q's, racing really hard, seeing what other lanes they can use to get around drivers. But you have to get a good restart. If you don't get a good restart, you're not going to get the positions you want. So you must execute well on these restarts when they are given to you.
Yeah, restarts are your best opportunity to make up ground on everybody else. And some really big movers right here as things are cycling through, trying to figure out who's going to be our race leader. And I think, you know what, the way this cycled out with the caution coming out, I think Dennis Kane and Corey Corral are going to be our leaders. Gordon Spain, John Fowler, Diego Rodriguez staying kind of in net zero after the pit cycle, going to be P6. James Smith in the 21. And, you know, for Brandon Puffenbarger and John Schlombachler, that didn't really work out for him. But a handful of these guys came down pit road on lap 31. Nigel Christensen, Joshua Neal, Jeremy Carter, Brad Hayes, who was second, or not second, was second earlier, running P2 for after the cycle. He came down pit road, as well as Thomas Stanley and Andrew Teft. So, gonna see a couple things. Alex Teft currently trapped a lap down in the 21st for that number 43 machine. I'm thinking he had a speeding penalty coming down pit road. Don't think we're going to be able to find that information when he did come down. I'll try to see if I can find it real quick, but well, no, not going to be enough time. Pace car makes a left turn down pit road. Dennis Kane, Corey Crowell going to enter the restart zone. Coming to lap 34 at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's a Sim Racing Media on Thursday night for the Racers Elite Next Gen Series. On the gas into turn number 1. Here we go.
Dennis Payne there hugging that white line, heading into turn 2. Out of turn 2 is going to take second. As you can tell, he's now under fire from the 11 car on the outside, and down the back straightaway. They're going to be side by side.
Now under fire from AJ Cawthon. He's currently our largest mover, up 19 positions in that number 11. Corey Crowell out front, up 10 positions. Caution managed to work out for these guys pretty well, giving them the track position that they might have needed. Now, can they do something with that track position not being marred back into the back? We got somebody saying that the caution might have been because their internet had an issue and he was disqualified, so his car might have went flying into the wall when his car was disqualified. And so we weren't able to find what happened. The 5 cars in trouble.
Puffenbarger's around, turn 1.
Puffenbarger with help in turn 1. Most of the cars avoid it. We're trying to see who he got help right there, but I'm not sure where that came from. Go back here to the yellow flag and see what we see. It's a number 5 machine. That's 57. That's Noah. That's not Noah. That is the Casey's machine. Actually, you know, still trying to figure out exactly. So there's help right there. That flow, the car with the flow racing on the back. I'm still trying to determine what happened. The racing with the number 57. It seems like the 5 and the 57 there were looking for the same real estate in the turn number 1. The 5 kind of getting the bad end of the deal right there. That's unfortunate. That was with Jason Bottoms. So we're going to watch that one more time. I want to see it from the viewpoint of Jason Bottoms. I want to go on board with him. So looking to the inside of the 5 right here down the front stretch. Looking for a position into the corner, and yeah, it looks like the 5 though just wasn't sure he was down there and tries to come down, and unfortunately that spot was filled, and that's caution number 3. I want to thank everybody for spending their evening with us, drivers, family of drivers, friends of drivers, everybody here tonight. Special thanks and shout out to you guys for being a part of the Sim Racing Media family. Got some takers down pit road, 16th on back, led down by Sam Kohlhaas. You got Jeremy Carter, Teft coming down again, and Brandon Puffenbarger after that damage coming down pit road.
Our third caution of the night here on lap 37. Laps going by pretty quick here, John.
Yeah, we'll be getting back to green at around lap probably 39, so getting close to the halfway mark. Take a moment again to talk about the next week coming up. Next week we're going to be at Atlanta. It's going to be the 2022 Atlanta, so the newer Atlanta on 21 December. It's going to be 130 laps. That's going to be set in the afternoon. Now also we have racing with Racers Elite all week. So you have Tuesdays here on Sim Racing Media. They're going to be at Kansas, and then that's going to be for the Truck Series. The Xfinity Series is going to be at Atlanta, just like the Next Gen Series. And then this Saturday, you can catch the Saturday. It's a non-championship series. It's a mixed series, multiple different cars. Coming up this Saturday, they're going to be the Gen 4 cars at Atlanta. And you can catch that on JP Broadcasting, and that's going to be quite the exciting event, I believe. So if you are just watching, and you're looking for a league to race in, if I wasn't here calling this race or busy with sim racing media, this is the series that I would want to race in. Full fields, a lot of respect, they don't play any games, they enforce the rules, and they put on a pretty good show. And you've got some fast guys here, so there's somebody for you to chase. There's people for you to try to keep up with and grow the challenge. And that's what you're really looking for with a league.
What you're looking for in a league is you want to race against competitive drivers, smart drivers that race everybody clean. So then you're not creating any bad relationships, because you don't want to be in a toxicity league. You want to race, like I said, where it's clean. We have good races. We go to multiple different tracks.
So as we're getting ready to reset the field here, it does look like we'll be coming to green on lap 39. Corey Crowell and AJ Cawthon are going to make up the front row. Row 2 is Dennis Kane, John Fowler. Row 3 is Zach Lockett and Jason Bottoms. Row 4, Diego Rodriguez, Gordon Spain, Nigel Christensen, and James Smith round out the top 10. So big shake-up with that caution. And that caution led to another caution while we were bunched up. So we're going to get to the halfway mark here in just a few minutes at Indianapolis. Who's it going to be? Is somebody going to... Are we going to get a different winner this week? I think we very well might. Definitely looking to see if it's going to change. Unfortunately for Alex Teft, that caution earlier, but he is back on the lead lap. Or excuse me, that what I believe was a penalty. But he's back on the lead lap, currently scored in the 18th position, alongside Brandon Puffenbarger. Those two guys coming back to the front is going to be fun to watch.
Pace car is off. Here we go. The 20 of Corey Corral is going to lead the field back to green here on lap 39. Green flags in the air.
Good restart for Corey Crowley. AJ Cawthon might have been sleeping just a little bit. I take that back, side by side, out of turn number 1, side by side, down the short front stretch, into turn number 2. Does Cawthon have what it takes on the outside? Proved me wrong. Side by side, coming off the corner. A lot of drivers battling, jockeying for position here on lap 39 down the back stretch.
Still battling side by side with the 11 car of AJ Cawthon. As you can see, they are heading in turns 3 and 4, but the lead is going to go to the 20 of Corral as he continues to lead the pack here on this restart.
Now the lead is situated, come a little bit further back. The battle for 7th between Christensen and Diego Rodriguez. Rodriguez is on the outside trying to hang on, as Gordon Spain now looking to the inside to take that position away. Rodriguez taking a little bit longer way around the track, but it's going to hang on to P8. Gordon Spain's going to fall in line a little bit further back in the field, side-by-side racing. Brandon Puffenbarger is trying to make some moves to get back forward. Alex Teft already up a few positions, back to 15th in number 43 machine. He's in a battle with Joshua Neal and James Smith for the 13th position.
To the field in the top 10, lap 15, all single file, chasing the 20 of Corey Corral. Now getting an extended lead over second place of AJ Cawthon.
You know, that's just showing right there that clean air really does make a difference. So clean air, because this car, the number 20 car, was kind of marred on back, the 13th, 14th place area. Wasn't able to make a lot of progress. And now that it's out front, has quite a bit more speed. And we do got to mention that...
the 57 is around. He's going to come back up into the traffic.
Seven around. try to see what caused this event right here. The 57, the 93, the 18th, Nigel Christensen around.
18 there makes contact on the quarter panel of the 57. That's going to send 57 around. Ends up back up into turn 3 in the traffic here.
And ends up clipping the 18 of Christensen. So let's watch that again. On board, not on board, but following the Nigel Christensen machine. Right here, just behind Jason Bottoms, looking for a position here. So they're side by side, and yeah, he's gonna catch that left rear quarter panel, and around the 57 is gonna go. He's not gonna be a happy camper about that at the end of this race later on. Also catching that number 9 machine of Schoenbachler. That's a pretty awesome paint scheme. That Coors light paint scheme. It's kind of a throwback. But I tell you what, the 57 is going to be extremely frustrated after that.
Very frustrated because now he's going to have to fight his way back through the field. And we know how hard it is here at Indianapolis. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on his 57 to see if he can make any progress.
Yeah, the 57 involved in a handful of things now. Only being lap 42 of this race. A lot of drivers coming down pit road. Corey Corral, Diego Rodriguez, AJ Cawthon, Rodriguez staying out. John Fowler, Zach Lockett. For the most part, the entire field's coming down pit road. Notable staying out: Dennis Kane, Rodriguez, Gordon Spain, Andrew Teft. Yeah, Brad Hayes, Alex Teft staying out, trying to pick up some track position. Gonna pick up about 4 positions by staying out. Remember, they only get to change their tires 4 times, and there is a lot of racing left to go. So trying to see if any of these guys are not taking tires. Looks like we got someone taking 2. Thomas Stanley took 2 tires, 2 right sides for the 62 AT&T Camaro. Or it could have been fuel. I have to go back to see. I don't have any info on them coming down the pit road in order to tell us. So I can't say for sure, but Stanley either took 2 tires or no tires. I'm leaning towards no tires because it was a 7 and a quarter second pit stop. It's got Thomas Stanley scored in the 10th place position. But I mean, this track, you know, it's kind of like 25-ish, 30 laps a run. And you only get to change your tires 4 times. And so if you do 25 laps a run, you can save a single set for a late race pit stop. And I think that's what we're seeing here. A handful of these drivers, the top 7, trying to save their tires for later in the race.
I see a lot of drivers that actually do that. They save a set of tires, so then if a caution does come out, they can come down pit road, get fresh tires over so many other drivers that decide not to save, and they have the advantage to possibly go and win that race. So I have seen this happen before.
Alright, so getting back to green, coming to lap 45, just past halfway. Dennis Kane, Rodriguez are going to be on row number 1. Row 2 is Gordon Spain and Andrew Teft. Brad Hayes slowly getting himself back to the front. James Smith currently the largest mover, up 18 positions in the 21 Toyota Camry. That's one of 3 Camrys in the field and the highest in field position. This is not really a surprise for the American style racing that most of the drivers are Chevrolets and Fords. Even though the Camry looks slick, I tell you what. But we're coming down the back stretch, getting ready to go back to racing. We're on the 4th caution of the night. Remember, there's only 75% fuel, and these guys get 1 fast repair. So 1 chance when you get it all wrong, whether it's your fault somebody else's, or just a racing incident to get your car back out on track. Otherwise, you're kind of at the mercy of the sim racing world and how well your pit crew can repair your vehicle.
Here on lap 44 field, now doubling up side by side. Pace car lights are off as we get ready to go back racing here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Who will kiss the bricks here tonight? Let's find out. 24-4 on the front row. Green flag back in the air.
What a restart for Dennis Kane. Diego Rodriguez sleeping as the inside row is going to sneak up on him. Gordon Spain now to the inside of Rodriguez. Rodriguez have anything on the outside lane. He's going to actually pull up. He's going to hurt his run right there as Andrew Teft's looking to sneak in and make it 3 wide. Thinks better of it. And he's trying to give Rodriguez the push he needs. And something happens to that inside row right there with Dennis Kane, and that puts Diego Rodriguez to the front.
Whoa!
Yeah,
Well, some contact there between the 4 and the 3 on the back straightaway.
Yeah, that is, but you know, Diego Rodriguez is loving this. He's under siege from Andrew Teft right there, the number 6, but Rodriguez trying to lead a lap here at Indianapolis. Will he be able to get it done? Coming down the front stretch. Crosses the start-finish line. Diego Rodriguez leading a lap, trying to change the trajectory of his season. Dennis Kane moving back to 6th in a lap. It shows you how fast it can happen just under racing. 1st to 6th in a lap. And, you know, just one slip up, a little bit of contact, and you lose 5 positions. Going back right here, you got Thomas Stanley, driver who I think only took fuel. Some of the guys that are on fresh tires, or fresher tires, now gone by him, but holding his own back here in the 10th position, currently battling with the 45 of Michael Smith.
52 battling side by side with the 45. Heading down the front straightaway, Van's is going to go to that 45 to see the 62 now falling back.
Back up front, Diego Rodriguez still hanging on to the lead stretch. His gap to about 3 car lengths over Andrew Teft. Currently up 5 positions. Brad Hayes in the 27 trying to get back up to the front too. He's got the fastest lap of anybody by 2.5 tenths. So a very fast race car for the number 27 of Brad Hayes. Don't look now, however. Alex Teft, 3 wins on the season. Was a lap down, had a penalty, has overcome that penalty up to P4 and moving towards the lead in a hurry. We got ourselves a battle right here for 5th.
3 battling side by side with the 20. You see, heading into turn 1 to 3, having that outside line work for him as the 3 now is going to have an edge over the 20 as he's clear from Corral.
And with Gordon Spain into the top 5. A little bit further back, we've got some racing between Zach Lockett, Thomas Stanley. Lockett's got the position. Stanley's trying to chase him down. Stanley now down 2 spots since the restart, but really holding his own for not taking tires. Only lost 2 positions. The next timely caution, he'll have some extra tires over some other drivers, which might set him up for a real good finish as long as this race has one more incident.
Nice little battle there heading into turn 1. Pressure on the 24 as you see a whole pack of cars trying to get around it.
And you know, the pressure's really on because Rodriguez really needs to hang on to this this race right here and have a good finish. We see that he got passed by Andrew Teft a few moments ago, but Rodriguez doing the best he can to stay in the top 3. This would absolutely change the trajectory of his season if he can come home with a podium finish. Moving a little bit further to the back, James Smith in a battle with AJ Cawthon. This is for the 8th place position. These are the 2 largest movers on track. Smith up 16 positions, Cawthon up 12 positions.
there. Before, once again, hugging that inside white line. Getting a good corner exit here. To see the 21. Haven't talked about him lately in that Toyota Camry. Okay.
Alright, so right here, battle still Rodriguez hanging on to that position. But Corey Crowell really looking to the inside. Rodriguez is going to give it up, but he's going to let Alex Teft go by. He tried to give up one position. He's about to get freight trained and give up 3, maybe 4 spots after giving up the inside right here. Now, can he battle back and hang on to a spot here? But I'm not so sure he can, as Alex Teft is going to get by him as well.
Alex Teft, one of those drivers that is always up in the front, always at the end too, collecting those wins this season. Currently P3s. You see the 24, Diego Rodriguez, was struggling there, now finds himself back in line. You see drivers following or using that draft to see if they can make passes.
I'm going to tell you that Andrew Teft would really like to get the victory over Alex Teft, as he's 12 points behind him currently in the point standings. Anytime you get to finish ahead of the other 2 drivers that you're battling is a win for you. And in this case, the only person ahead of Andrew Teft is Alex Teft. You've got Joshua Neal, who is in that conversation, but he's currently scored 18th in the number 82. He's not really a factor in this race, and it's going to fall in standings if he does not find a way to really end up with some better track position before the end of this one. And laps are starting to tick down, as you know, we're getting to the 35 remaining mark. Or excuse me, the 25 laps remaining mark.
Andrew Teft currently first right now. Arriving on board.
Great camera we have right here on the Brad Hayes machine. You can see Dennis Kane right behind him down the front stretch. Got a Kodiak paint scheme for that 27. See the fence. Kane's going to try to make up some ground into the corner. He did, but he just loses it right there on the exit. We're going to try to watch him dive back into the corner. He picks up a little bit of ground, but middle out, Brad Hayes just stepping away from the Dennis Kane machine.
Right there, here's a really nice battle going on there. You see Brad, 3 car there, my bad, of Brad Hayes battling side by side.
Side by side, here we go. That battle is handled further back, just pretty single file right now. Not much going on. There's going to be another caution that's really going to, not caution, there's going to be more pit stops, and that's what's going to shake this up, is when the pit stops happen. Right now we're working on single file racing, and we're not seeing too much as far as pit stops go. Or excuse me, as far as racing goes right now. So now what you do is you anticipate that there might be green flag pit stops, and how far can you stretch yourself in front of the other drivers? I'm pretty... Go ahead.
That's the question to be answered, you know. You just don't know when that is going to happen.
Well, you know when you're going to run out of fuel. You just don't know about a caution. And I don't think these drivers that pitted on lap 42 can stretch it to the end of this race. I mean, that's 38 laps. However, they can stay out a bit longer than the guys up front. And, you know, I bet we're going to see Andrew Teft come down pit road pretty quickly. And I actually do want to mention that Corey Crowd did come down lap 42 for 4 tires and fuel. So I expect Andrew Teft to come down pit road here pretty soon. He's 25 laps out there currently, so maybe around 60 or 62. I expect to see Andrew Teft come down pit road. Diego Rodriguez might come down a little bit sooner than that. Dennis Kane may come down a little sooner than that. Those two guys having the oldest equipment on track, last pitting on lap 27. Caution's out.
This is going to be a race that's going to play with strategy at this point.
Well, I think the caution actually takes it out. Everybody's going to come down pit road now. We're not going to see green flag racing. Thomas Stanley might begin tangled up with the 16, off the nose, into the inside wall. The 16 of John Fowler. Let's try to see how this happens. Let's try to catch on board with John Fowler. Stanley's right there. Yeah, it seems like he just gets kind of close to the Fowler machine, and at the front, it seems like that little tap in the left rear just really just pulls that leading car around, and that's what it did, and that's what brought out the 5th caution here at Indianapolis.
See right there, under caution once again here. On lap 57.
And so we'll get back to green this time. I think coming to lap 60 with 20 remaining, I expect everybody to come down pit road, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Is anybody going to stay out, do something rash? No, everybody's coming down pit road. Anybody? Nobody? Nobody. I think that's because at this point you can make it to the end, so you got to come down.
You see all these drivers really close to each other, and that reason is for being, you know, you want to get as many positions on and off pit road as possible, so when you go back green, you can be up towards the front in front of the drivers that you couldn't get advantage of out on track. As you see multiple drivers getting their service done right now. You see the 24 of Diego as he's going to win off pit road.
And we see the battle off pit road. Rodriguez wins it. I think he took 2 tires though, Daniel. Only in pit road on pit road for 11.62. That sounds like a 2-tire stop to me.
As you see, the 24 there will get the lead off of pit road. And like you mentioned, you guys see drivers that take 2 tires. John, and I've seen drivers that take 2 tires over people that take 4 tires, and they still win the race on those 2 tires. So we're going to have to see how these drivers perform here on this restart.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay with the type of racetrack this is, but I can't say for certain. So when we begin back to green, coming to lap 60, I'm expecting a really great finish to this race, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
It should be fun, you know. It could be one of our last restarts of the night, but you never know. It's a race. A lot of things happen in these races. But we have seen long green flag runs here tonight from Indianapolis.
Coming out of lap number 4, we're going to have 20 laps, excuse me, turn number 4, and soon we're going to see some more great racing. I don't think we're done with our cautions yet, Daniel. Just taking a quick breather right there because I know I'm going to need my breath here as we're getting ready to come back to green.
Hold your breath, because here they come. Pace car is off. 24 Diego leading the pack here. Could be the final restart of the night. Green flag back in the air on lap 60 from Indy.
Side by side into turn number 1 for the top 4 drivers. You already see Brad Hayes looking to make it down to the inside of the track. Rodriguez already losing 2 positions. I hear a driver in the wall. I think that might have been, oh, the 21's in the wall as well. I think that could have been the 5 of Huffenbarger in the wall. And we did see James Smith get in the wall. Big gaggle of machines coming off turn number 3.
Some drivers getting into the wall. There you saw the 21 get into the wall back there. Losing tons of positions. Gonna have to re-rack it. Hopefully get some more spots on this green flag run. As you see multiple drivers changing different lanes, trying to get around each other to get to the lead. As you see the 43 there, Alex Taft, another strong driver, trying to hunt down that 20 of Coro.
Alright, with 20 laps remaining in this race, holy cow, we're gonna have a huge wreck in the back with 20 laps remaining. The 21, the car's still flipping back there. Holy cow. Wow.
That was very intense. I didn't expect to see flipping here from Indianapolis.
That car is stuck
in the catch fence.
I've never seen this before.
Oh my gosh.
The 62 of Thomas Stanley is stuck in the catch fence. Inside backstretch here at Indianapolis for the Racers Elite Cup Series. I've never seen this before, folks. This has never occurred before.
He ain't going anywhere. That car is totally destroyed there.
This is incredible. He's still trying to get out of this thing.
The ground's smoking.
I don't think it's going to get out of this thing. Wow. What do you guys watching the show think of this? Holy cow. We're going to have to see how this happened from the view of Thomas Stanley. So here's Thomas Stanley right here. Golly, so that the trouble's going to happen in front of him. And he's just trying to avoid whatever's going on. He's going to get clipped right there. And he's just going for a ride. Just tumbling. And into the catch fence.
I don't even know how to respond to that one.
I can't believe it. Let's go back up a little more forward. See Nigel Christensen. I think we're going to see more or less how this occurred. But this is incredible. So racing with the 26. The 21's in the wall. And the 21 catches the 18.
Oh.
The 21 has a huge hit as well. And that was probably another big hit right there. And that's what got Stanley, is the one we saw there. So let's watch this again from James Smith. He just gets it. No, he doesn't. He gets it kind of. He's all right there. He's coming out of the corner. Gets it wrong, I think, right there. Up close to the wall, into the wall. Hits number 18. Wow, big hit. Collects, I think, the 30 of Kohlhaas, going right behind Stanley.
Boy, the 21 hit that tire barrier there on the inside wall. That's one of the worst spots you can hit.
I have never seen a wreck so insane.
We just witnessed one.
And one more time right here. Nearly getting smoked again. There's some frustration right there with Christensen and him. Let's see if Thomas Stanley's still hanging around. No longer hanging around. Wow.
I don't even know what to say.
Daniel, your job is to make absolutely sure that right there gets on our new promo video.
Okay.
You make sure of that. That has got to happen. I've never seen that before. We're going to be talking about that forever.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never seen Iracing ever in my life. I've never seen a car literally flip that many times. The wonders of Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Tell you what, that definitely made that caution go by quickly.
Yeah, it did.
We definitely know that Christensen's not very happy. He had a good race car and just not going to get a great finish after that.
Just not the night that he wanted.
Wow. And so James Smith gets it wrong, into the wall, collects Nigel Christensen, who also collects Thomas Stanley and Sam Kohlhaas. Just insane. And we're seeing information from Thomas Stanley. He's made it out of the infield sim care center. He says that was fun. He said it was fun and thought it was good till the 30.
I don't know, that got me kind of dizzy just watching on board.
I just absolutely am flabbergasted by that occurring right there. Pace car is going to come down pit road as we're going to reset and get ready to go again with 17 laps remaining. Corey Crowell, Alex Teft, who's made it all the way back up to the front, side by side. Going to be 16 laps remaining in this one.
The 20 of Corral again, a great restart launch there, heading out turn 2, heading down the back straightaway. But look at the 43 of Alex Teft there. Another strong driver there, currently in P2.
Man, just really, what a, gosh, you know, we've been here for an hour of race time, 15 laps remaining, huge wreck. And now we're going to figure out who's going to win it here at Indy. And I don't think we're done with the chaos. All right, so move Corey Crowell out front. Dwayne McMahon now. The number 87, that's a Toyota. Up 20 positions, currently in 5th right now. Huge, big mover right here for Dwayne McMahon. Diego Rodriguez looking to the inside of him right now, trying to get back into the top 5.
For Diego Rodriguez, they're struggling on the inside, and that's because a lot of cars aren't with him on the inside. But wherever the most cars are, they're going to have more advantage there. As you can tell now, 24 battling side by side with the 87 of Dwayne McMahon.
I just want to mention, you know, and you got Alex Tuft running P2. Last week he made it 3 for 3 on a 2-tire stop. Couple notable drivers not here tonight. You had P2 for Crowley. You had Evan Clapper getting in trouble last week. And then Kitzman also not here for this event. And I think Kitzman told us that he wasn't going to be a full-time competitor here. So the standings are going to shake up a little bit after this one, as we're coming to coming to 13 laps remaining. Teff and Brad Hayes trying to track down Corey Corral, doing what they can do. And Rodriguez got around the number 87 of Dwayne McMahon, and the rest of the field is extremely close together back here.
Very close to DGC 11 there. And AJ Kaufman now behind Zach Lockett in the 93. Zach Lockett was really good last week. Hasn't been in the top 10 most of the night, cracking top 10 finally in his closing laps. As you see most of the drivers now on the outside line drafting each other.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of drafting here. Oh, trouble once again! Oh gosh, is that
That's
Dennis Kane? Every week! Trouble, Northville Plumber Company, Dennis Kane. What caused this? You know, I couldn't even tell you what happened, but the caution did not come out for Dennis Kane. The race continues on, and I'm not going to be able to tell you what happened there. Let's see if I can't find it, but I'm not sure. Let's go back to right here. Perhaps I can see what happened. Racing here with the 56 and the 57. I think he's going to go off the nose of another car. Sure is. The 56 was there. Kane into the wall. And that's going to be the end of his race, especially with that caution not coming out. Battle for the lead really starting to heat up.
Battle is going to keep ramping up here in these closing laps here. We are on lap 70 right now.
Diego Rodriguez hanging on to 5th. John Fowler up 13 positions right now. Dwayne McMahon starting to fall back. He was our biggest mover. Still the biggest mover, but he was up to 5th. He's now fallen back to 11th right here. So John Fowler trying to change that and be the new largest mover. He's got Rodriguez in his sights in that 16 Chevrolet. They're starting to get kind of spread out. I mean, I don't want to call it spread out, but single file racing currently. No one, but not much separation. And Corey Crowell still hanging on to the lead right here. Trying to make it a different winner here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Just, it's been all Alex Tuff this year so far. But you've got Brad Hayes and Corey Corral trying to change that and make it something different. Can't help but feel bad for Dennis Kane. After a great run today, and it just doesn't end up being what he wants after going off the nose of I believe the 56 of Tansman.
See right there, the top four really separated themselves from the rest of the pack here. Right now, the 20 is leading the pack here. That is Corey Corral leading at Indianapolis here.
And John Fowler still trying to continue his climb in the standings right now. Multiple drivers, and if we go down to the unfortunate side of the field, you've got 6 drivers 1 lap down or more. Notables Dennis Kane, John Schloem-Bachler, Nigel Christensen, and of course Thomas Stanley, who's just kind of hanging around, you know. Kind of hanging around the catch fence, unfortunately for him. Kinsley Smith, biggest loser today, down 18 positions, no longer on track after internet issues. Just not the day that Kinsley Smith was looking for.
See right there, the 5-car Brandon Puffenbarger having some great moments here tonight, keeping his car inside the top 5, top 10 most of the night here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And there's the gap between the Diego Rodriguez and the 6-car of Andrew Teff.
So only 6 laps remaining, really getting ready to come to 5 remaining. Still nobody's able to chase down Corral. Is there going to be a caution? Is that going to change everything? Or are we going to see a different winner tonight? Only time will tell, and it won't be that long. We're 5 minutes away, barring any caution, from crowning a winner here at Indianapolis Thursday night for the Racers Elite Nextgen Cup Series. Want to thank all the drivers and the people watching the event. We've seen some craziness tonight already in this race. Looking forward to tons more, especially as we go next week, next Thursday, which will be at the new configuration Atlanta. Looking forward to that high speed, high banks. Really, it is a super speedway kind of race. But we're going to see fast, hard racing. We might see another car in the catch fence. But I really think Thomas Stanley today takes the cake.
I think he's going to be the news headline coming out from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's going to be the news line for multiple times. We're going to keep mentioning that because that was an incredible wreck. We have never seen that happen before, especially here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Whoever thought you would see a car in the catch fence on the back straightaway. But, you know, right now you see Corey Corral leading 10-43 of Alex Teff make a move here in the closing laps, with Brad Hayes currently in 3rd.
A little further back, Andrew Teff been hanging out around the 4th, 5th place position all day long. Same with Diego Rodriguez. 4 laps to go for Rodriguez. I'm telling you, he's going to be happy if he gets this good finish. John Fowler in 6th, 7th position belongs to Gordon Spain. Zach Lockett's 8th, Brandon Puffenbarger's 9th, AJ Cawthon scored in the 10th place position. And of course, Noah Tansman and Jason Bottoms. Bottoms having been involved in a lot today in that number 57, and him just being able to be in P12 and not out of the race should be considered a win.
See Jason Bottoms in that 57 machine.
Dwayne McMahon here in that 87, still kind of falling back. He's up 10 positions. Many of those positions are cars that are a lap down. Thinking he might have an opportunity to hang up there with the guys up front, but it just seems like Indy's not his race today. But at the same time, he's going to pick up some points on the drivers that had trouble by just staying clean and staying in the race. You know, you can get into playoff situations and be competitive by just keeping a clean race car all season, and perhaps that's what Dwayne McMahon is looking to do.
And you know, Dwayne McMahon, there's only 3 Toyotas throughout this whole pack here tonight, and Fords. There's only 3 Fords and 3 Toyotas. The rest are all Chevys. So, you know, the Chevys have been dominating tonight, especially because, you know, they have more manufacturer teammates with them. But if we had more Toyotas or Fords, I would expect to see them up towards the front too. But this is a tricky track to get around people, especially when they're gapped this far apart from each other. As you see right there, Alex Tefton at 43, now getting pressure a little bit.
So this is the battle right here. We're getting ready to come to the the final lap, white flag here in Indianapolis, where anything can happen. And Corey Crowell's out in front of these guys by 0.3 of a second. Really, you could just about throw a blanket on them, except for the 3-car length separation between each of them. But the thing is here is Teft really looking to get another win. He's going to eat into the gap coming into turn 1, and as we're on the white flag, coming down the short stretch, down into the back stretch. Still anything that can happen. Long back stretch. Still 2 more corners for these 3 drivers.
Corey Carell having a nice, comfortable lead here. Cannot afford a mistake. As you see right there, Alex Tefton second. They're trying everything he can do here to possibly get a win here tonight.
And I think the battle's going to be here for second, as Hayes going to have anything for him coming out of the corner. He's going to have a lot of speed coming down the front stretch. I don't think he's going to quite get there. He's not. Race winner Corey Crowell, Alex Teft P2. Brad Hayes is going to be P3. Teft 4th, Andrew Teft that is. Diego Rodriguez is going to have a race to be excited about. Stays in the top 5 most of the race. Finishes P5. I'm telling you, this must feel like a race win for Rodriguez in that 24 after not really finishing any races earlier on in the season. Big congratulations to the 20 Corey Crowell from Midwest Motorsports. His team is likely going to be very proud of him.
Very good finish for Diego tonight from Indianapolis.
We're going to give these drivers a few moments to get settled. Daniel, if you don't mind, call the race fun right here for Corey Crowell as he's getting ready to burn it down.
Okay.
Where's that finish line?
Hey, Corey, it's Daniel and John, the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I do. What's going on?
Well, congratulations on winning tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Get ready to kiss those bricks. How was your car handling throughout the whole night?
Oh yeah, I mean it was pretty good. When you're in the pack, it kind of struggles. Short run it's great. Long run it would get tight. So track position was definitely key. Once I got out front, I could kind of maintain everything. So other than that, it was pretty good.
All right. Well, we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway next week. We know it's a miniature-sized super speedway. We know we're going to see some drafting, manufacturer, and teammates working together. What are your expectations heading into Atlanta next week?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. I think we're gonna have a good team event there. I think with all of us working together, we should be pretty good.
All right. Is there anything or anybody you would like to thanks?
Yeah, you guys as always for broadcasting Races Elite for this great, wonderful league, and then Midwest Motorsports for all the support that each other give everybody.
All right. Well, congratulations on a first place finish here from Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Go kiss the bricks. We'll see you next week from Atlanta.
Thank you.
All right, we're getting ready to move over to Alex Teft, who finished first last week. This week, not so much. Looking to see if he will be available, and I'm looking to pull him down right now. All right, pulling in P2 finisher Alex Teft. Alex, it looked like earlier you might have had a penalty and got stuck on pit road for like 45 seconds. You ended up being a lap down. How'd you recover for that to finish P2? And do you think if you had some more time, could you have run 4 in a row?
Yeah, no, definitely set myself back a bit. I ended up speeding that first pit stop. Something I haven't done in a while, so that was different. But yeah, no, at the end there, Corey just didn't make any mistakes. And I didn't really want to try to do anything like on the outside or anything, because I didn't want whoever was behind me to, you know, sneak in there and get shuffled back. So just hoping he would make a mistake in the last few laps and I could take advantage.
Yeah, I think that might have been the only way to do it, because you three, including Brad Hayes, y'all were just kind of step for step. It's like y'all got that distance, and then you just really couldn't get closer or further apart. And that's just kind of how the last 15 laps went. I really expected to see another caution, but instead y'all were able to kind of race it out. And so all in all, what are your thoughts on tonight's race? And then what are your expectations going into Atlanta, which is the new configuration, and it being a super speedway for next week?
Atlanta, yeah, I've been pretty consistent on the super speedways, so hopefully I can keep my nose clean and find myself at the front at the end. And yeah, that definitely hurts to by end the losing streak, but no, Corey definitely ran a good race.
All right, last thing for you. Is there anyone you want to mention before we let you go? You can enjoy your P2 finish, staying on top of the point standings, I believe.
Take it. No, thank you guys over to Sim Racing Media. Thank League Races Elite. And thank my friends and my girlfriend.
All
and
right,
all the
Alex.
viewers that watch all the time.
Yeah, definitely thank the viewers. You guys get a good chunk of them. Hope you enjoy your night. We'll be talking to you next week, I imagine.
Thank you. Sounds good.
All right, so that's P2 finisher Alex Teft looking for Brad Hayes. I don't see him currently, but we're going to give him a few moments to see if he is available. But we're going to do something a little bit different, Daniel. Let's bring in Diego Rodriguez, who hasn't managed to finish well at all season, who managed to finish in the top 5 today. So joining us tonight, or joining us now out of Adrian, Michigan, another Michigander, is Diego Rodriguez, who finally has a race that he deserves. Diego, tell the viewers, anyone listening to you, how much this race means to change the trajectory of your season.
It means a lot to me. First, the beginning of the season hasn't really gone well for me. Hopefully, though, this race heads me down the right direction to placing better.
That's what we're hoping for too. Just the only thing I've noticed is like every time I've been in the booth is you're top 6, top 7, and then you're in the wall, or you're off the nose of somebody else. So being able to put it together and stay in the top 6 for the most better part of the race, you made smart moves. You were a little conservative at times, but they got you a top 5 finish, and top 5 finishes will put you there towards the end of the season. So really great racing tonight. And I want to ask you, what are your thoughts going into Atlanta going into next week?
I'm excited for Atlanta. I think I'm pretty good at it. Hoping my luck is good next week, like it is today. Other than that, yeah, I'm really excited for it.
And the biggest bummer that I'm seeing right here, and is you're gonna have to wait till February to get to run Michigan, and I assume you like Michigan,
Oh,
considering
I
this
do.
is where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so February 1st we'll be in Michigan, so we'll circle that one for you and see what you've got for everybody. But on that note, is there anyone you want to mention? And I do want to say you've got somebody saying congrats to you in the viewer chat. So is there anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
I want to thank you guys for broadcasting. Racers Elite for hosting the races. I also want to thank my parents for supporting me and allowing me to do this. And also watching. And that's really it.
All right, Diego. Great run for you, sir. We'll be seeing you again next week.
All right, thank you.
Daniel, we had a really great race tonight. I'm not seeing Brad Hayes by chance for the opportunity to talk to him. We could, however, go steal one Thomas Stanley real quick and ask him about being stuck in the catch fence.
That sounds like a perfect interview.
Well, I'm going to bring him in, and he's going to be all yours. Joining the booth now is one Thomas Stanley, unexpectedly, just like he unexpectedly ended up in the catch fence. And he's now with you, Daniel.
I'm standing next to Thomas. Thomas, what happened, buddy? You were going down the back straightaway. Next thing I knew, you were in the fence. Can you give us an insight on what happened there?
I saw the 21 flying in the air. I figured I'd go a little lower. After looking back at it, looks like a little bit of iRacing net code. Got the 21 and the 30. Saw the 30 out of the corner of my eye. Just didn't have enough time to kind of turn down to the grass. And I definitely went for a Ryan Priest style of ride. I will say that.
Oh, I just want to say, looking at that replay there on board with you, it made me dizzy. I'm sure it made you dizzy. Are you feeling okay after that incident?
I'm actually feeling I'm really glad I don't race in VR.
Yeah, me too.
After that, because I feel like that would have definitely been a little crazy. But yeah, hey, safety is all it's about, right? They definitely put a safe car on the track.
Safety is always first, Thomas. Now we're heading to Atlanta next week where we're going to be drafting and to miniature super speedway. So could we possibly see you back up in the catch fence? I don't know, but are you ready to tackle that?
Honestly, Atlanta is not my favorite track since they changed it. So there is a 95% chance that I probably will end up in the catch fence again.
Okay, we're going to have to see if that's wilder than what we saw in Indy. I don't know, but you are the main highlight, my friend, right now at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Well, we're glad that you are okay and doing well, and we will see you next week from Atlanta.
Thank you. Great broadcast as well.
Thanks, we appreciate it. We do our best. All right, Daniel. Whoops, I moved the wrong guy. All right, Daniel. What a good race. Somehow I accidentally moved you. I got a little excited right there. But what a race that we just had here. I always have a blast calling the series. We've got one thing left to do here is to go through the final results. But we've got some viewers here right now. I think we need to go back to the Thomas Stanley incident one more time. We're gonna have to see this happen one more time. I believe it happened right here.
It was around lap 60.
Oh, this is it. You fall on Thomas Stanley, ends the inside wall there, and the car just takes off. It just takes flight and is in the catch fence. The driver
There's
of the
nothing
night.
you can do. Once that car gets that air underneath it, your car will go over. And when you look at the replay, you saw that 21. He hit hard. and he hit right at the tire barrier there on the inside wall, and that's the worst case situation where you can hit out of all places. And what we just saw with the 62 also, he did a Ryan Priest flip just like at Daytona, but Indianapolis, and ended up in the catch fence there with the grass smoking. So it was a wild night tonight. Indianapolis didn't let me down for sure, but Atlanta's probably going to be the same way.
Yeah, just what an evening, and Thomas Stanley for sure, the driver of the week, ending up in the catch fence. What a great race. Here we are for the results here at Indianapolis. Corey Crowell from Midwest Motorsports brings it home P1. Alex Teft is P2. Brad Hayes is P3. We didn't get to speak to Brad, unfortunately. Fourth belongs to Andrew Teft and Diego Rodriguez. Fifth place is John Fowler, up 13 positions, is our biggest mover of the night. Congratulations to John Fowler. Seventh is Brandon Puffenbarger. Eighth is Zach Lockett. Coming home P9 is AJ Cawthon, up 12 positions on the start of his night. Very good finish based off of qualifying. Gordon Spain, net neutral, finishes 10th. 11th is Noah Tansman, which is a great finish considering the 56 was involved in a lot tonight, as well as the 57, coming home P12, and the forward half of the field after being involved in a lot of issues tonight. Joshua Neal was second in points, finishes 13th, is going to lose ground to Alex Teft and Corey Crowell, and a couple other drivers in the point standings. Take a second to put those up here so you can see them. So Joshua Neal is going to lose ground to Corey Crowell, AJ Cawthon, and a few other drivers, of course to Alex Teft and Andrew Teft. Those guys are going to lose ground, and they'll be all right, are ahead of him moving forward. And then a little bit further here, you've got Sam Kohlhaas in 15th. 16th belongs to Michael Smith. Dwayne McMahon. Joseph Atkinson, we saw him first incident of the night. He finishes 18th. Big hit inside wall. He did manage to finish 18th. Continuing to scroll through our field right here. 19th belongs to James Smith, who had a couple hellacious hits in the wall. Dennis Kane, untimely incident without the caution, had a fast repair, got to use it, never had an opportunity to get his lap back after what happened. Finishes 20th. John Schlombachler is 21st. 22nd, Truth Hoke. Nigel Christensen, not happy with a handful of drivers tonight. Rough night for the 18. Thomas Stanley finishes 24th after being in the catch fence, which is probably a good spot for him to finish. 25th is Kinsley Smith. Smith has brought out the third caution, we think. Lost internet, finishes last. Not going to be good for that driver, who, as the standings are back up again, you can see that Kinsley Smith was 5th in the standings and is now going to probably fall out of the top 10. So all eyes are on Atlanta next week for recovery, and to see who can recover from this week's bad woes and who can make a statement by staying near the front.
And I'm going to say this right now. Nobody is safe going into Atlanta Motor Speedway. I expect seeing manufacturers working together, manufacturing teammates, and especially your regular teammates as well, pushing each other aggressively, trying to get up to the front, but you don't want to push at the wrong time. You don't want to push in the corners, and you especially don't want to push on the quarter panels, because that is very sensitive, and if you push at the wrong time, they will go around and cause a big one. So we're going to have to keep a close eye. Nobody's safe once again. It's just Atlanta. We'll see how the outcome is next week.
All right, so we'll definitely be looking forward to next Thursday night to see how Atlanta goes. One last moment, want to thank the viewers that were staying here through the end for the post-race show for the Racers Elite Next Gen Cup Series. We'll see you back for more Racers Elite next Tuesday here at Sim Racing Media. Tonight, my name's Jonathan Leach, joined by Daniel Paulus. We hope to see you again, folks, as Tony Trapasso would say. Please don't play in traffic. We look forward to seeing you next time. Good night.